coming to you live from beautiful Maine. Guys, we're staying at this amazing beachfront house, and I wanted to go over how you guys can buy your very first rental, what different options there are, and what to look for when you're looking to actually purchase said rental. Okay, so when it comes to owning a rental property, one of the most important things we need to consider is financing. How are we actually going to purchase the property? When looking at that, there's three main options. There's conventional loans, there's DSCR loans, and then there's owner financing. We're gonna break down each one of those three so you guys can then figure out and pick which one makes the most sense for you given your current situation. With that, let's start with conventional. When it comes to conventional, if you want to buy an out-of-state rental that you have zero intention of occupying or anything like that, you're going to need to put 20 to 25% down as an investment property loan. Those are typically 30-year fixed rate loans, and I think in today's current market, they're like 7 to 8% interest. Plus sides of that, they're pretty easy to qualify for. They're pretty standard. Downsides of that are you're capped at having 10 in your personal name, and you do have to put 20 to 25% down on each and every single one of those loans. Another option in the conventional route, if you want to look at going the rental property route, is you can do what's called house hacking. House hacking is where you go buy a duplex, triplex, or fourplex, or you can buy a property with a mother-in-law suite and you use an owner-occupied loan. So typically you can get anywhere from 0 to 5% down if you do VA or USDA on the 0 all the way to 5% down and just doing an owner-occupied conventional loan. You can get any one of those loan products, but the caveat is you have to intend to live there for the first 12 months. So what you can do is go buy a duplex, triplex, or fourplex, move into one of the units and rent out the other units. Ideally, that rent covers the mortgage plus some, so then you're getting paid to live there. When I first got into real estate, that was one of the very first moves that I did. I bought a triplex in Hendersonville, North Carolina, moved into one of the units, the other two were rented. I was making a little bit of money living in there, and in the unit that I was living in, I touched it up, repainted, updated the floors, got some new appliances, and then tenanted that one, and someone moved out of one of the other units, which had a second bedroom. So then I moved into that one, slowly fixed it up myself, and had a roommate. So while I was living in the triplex, once I got the roommate, I was making $800 a month living in my property. So a quick question to ask yourself is house hacking something you should do? Considering I got into this property for $9,000 down, which you can go get by wholesaling one deal, and then I made $800 a month living there, how different would your life be if you didn't have rent and instead you had an extra stream of income, plus the property's being paid down, it's probably gonna appreciate over time, and overall, you're now a real estate investor. When it comes to purchasing your rental property, the second loan or financing option is using a DSCR loan. DSCR stands for debt service coverage ratio, and that essentially means the lender wants to see that the projected rental income covers the mortgage payment. And usually they want like a 1.2% DSCR, and what that means is if your monthly payment is $1,000, they want 1.2 times that, so it'd be $1,200 in rent. Now, DSCR loans, pros, they don't check your income verification. They also don't check your tax returns. All they need to look at is the property itself, the value at which you're purchasing it versus the value of the property, and the rental income. Usually they'll also look at your credit score. Some do, some don't. Most of the times they do. And with those, you typically need about above a 660 or higher. Other things to note with the DSCR loan, you do typically need to do 20 to 25% down. But with these properties, if you're buying them at the right price, which is typically at 75% of ARV minus repairs, you can go in and buy it with a bridge loan, which is a 12-month product in the hard money lender category. Buy it with that and then refinance into a DSCR loan. And that is how you own a home for free, because you bought the property with a bridge loan at $75,000 and then you refinanced into a DSCR loan for $75,000, but the property's worth $100,000. So now you have an instant $25,000 worth of equity and a cash flowing rental property that's going to appreciate over the long haul. And third option for financing when it comes to buying rental properties is using seller financing. With seller financing, there are way more options and way more flexibility than there are with the typical conventional loans or DSCR loans. With seller financing, whatever terms they accept are terms that you can use. Will they do 0% down? Will they hold a note for 50 years? Will they do interest only? Will they do principal only? That's really up to you and the seller to negotiate. The pros of seller financing, it is way more negotiable. There are no tax returns, there are no income verification, There's no credit check. There's none of that. Now, the downsides of seller financing is, on average, most sellers, when compared to just getting a cash offer, are not as keen to it. Now, there certainly are a whole bunch of sellers that will accept the offer if they truly understand what it is. And so that's where it comes down to you understanding how to pitch it, how to present it, how to talk to them about it, so that they understand what they're getting themselves into. Again, that's probably the worst con. In pretty much every other way, seller financing is superior to the others, but you just have to find the right seller who will accept the seller financing offer. I hope you guys found that breakdown helpful. If you guys are going to get started buying rentals, drop a comment down below. And if you want to see a real world breakdown of how I'm using private money and DSCR loans to buy flips, watch the linked video so you guys can see exactly what I'm doing step by step to buy properties.